Right, guys, welcome back to another video from Above Average FPL. A couple of days have passed since our latest video, so we thought we'd give you a quick update on how our drafts are looking. Time of recording, there's only 3 days to go until the FPL Game Week 1 deadline. Hopefully you guys are nice and close now to getting your Game Week 1 teams locked. If not, have a look at our teams and, let us know whether you think our teams are any good or not, any improvements, stuff like that. Right, so we're going to start up with Baker. Baker, run through your team, mate.
Well, I was very fun and adventurous, and on Sunday night, bringing Darwin in and thinking about what to do, and went on holiday, went away. So you can tell I'm not in my usual kitchen. Away at Centre Parks for a few days, and I thought, I don't want to tinker too much. So I was like, what's my safe place? Where do I go to? And so I put in what I would class to be like the safe 11, and then I was like, God, I'm quite dull. I really like it. And as the week's gone on, I'm not sure I hate it anywhere near as much as I did when I first put it in. So Ramsdale still in goal. That's not changed. Trent, Cancelo, Perisic, they've not changed. James is in for Trippier. I went to say a right back, because they're both right backs, but that doesn't really work on a fantasy game. Doesn't really matter what position they play.
Doesn't matter. But the news
Salah,
I was going to say the news that Calvert-Lewin looks to be out is obviously a key player there.
Yeah, I had a look actually. Chase on FPL Twitter does some really good graphics, and he did a the first 8 game weeks or so, like expected goals and expected cleans. And just looking at those sort of team model predictions, like the number of times that Chelsea actually are predicted to get more than 2 goals, and you think it's going to have some involvement in it. And then, although they're not really clean sheet fixtures, they're kind of almost clean sheet fixtures. Like you could see it happen in all of them. And I'm like, there probably is some 1-pointers in there for James, but there could be that 17-pointer, and that's just always the way with him. And once DCL was injured and Rondon's suspended, so they've got Delhi. That's like literally it. We're not going to do Delhi again on game week 1, are we?
Absolutely not. No
so I was like, I can't see me moving off Freeze. And it's also, unless I go to Robbo. Yeah, unless I look at it and think that I want Robbo and not James, then it's still a possibility. But I'm still not 100% sure, because I just feel like it means I end up going away from an £8 million midfielder, and I'm not comfortable with that at the moment. So Salah, obviously, Martinelli, Neto is still there. Neto could be Bailey. I could just save the 0.5 million. Kind of see how we feel on that one. And Luis Diaz is actually back in. So from coming out of the team, actually, when we talked the other night, you were talking a bit about they don't play Man City every week, and Man City don't play Liverpool every week and stuff. And I thought, before Nunez come on, like, Diaz was first man forward, and Jota out for a couple more weeks. If anything, now I'm like, if Firmino starts, probably Darwin's first man on, and Diaz gets extended minutes. If it's the other way around, I think Diaz still gets extended minutes, and I'm like, quite fancy just taking that punt against Fulham, and leaves me the option of, say, a Foden in game week 2 if I wanted to go there. I like the flexibility. I don't think 8 million really should be about flexibility, because that's like your big hitter there. But
yeah,
I'm cool with it.
It's your support man to Salah, so he needs to be strong, really.
Yeah,
hitting that price point.
I was really tempted on Maddison, but that news about Newcastle putting a bid in now just makes it's too difficult.
Yeah,
too difficult, because if that gets protracted, we've got like 3 games before the deadline finishes, and it starts getting a bit nasty, then he stays at Leicester, but then doesn't start playing because he said, oh, his head's not in it. It's just it's something you can't mess around with. Then the big one right now, I've got Haaland in above K. Sold my soul. Really,
absolutely
sold my soul. It's just the more I look at it, I'm not sure I want to use the transfer on it. Especially with Luis Diaz. I think if I was on Robbo, I'd be more tempted to punt with Kane because I feel like Robbo is just a set and forget. You're not going to move off that. But with Diaz, I might do. And therefore, I'm like, that might be the place I take the gamble. And therefore, I'll stay with Haaland rather than move on to him. So, yeah. And then the rest is all the boring stuff. So a couple of changes. I'm not sure how much it will change before then. The Neto v Bailey one's probably the one that's played on my mind, and it's kind of the 11th player in the team.
Yeah.
No biggie. You?
Me. So yeah, a little bit change actually. I have made a few changes. So I've got now Ramsdale in goal. Mainly through price, actually, because other moves around the team felt more preferable. Obviously, Arsenal have got good fixtures. You know, their back line feels fit. You know, their front line, they press hard, so the ball ends up at the other end of the pitch more often. He's good for bonus, but that may drop down, as we've seen. But I think Ramsdale's a good enough pick to take me all the way through to the first wild card. So absolutely no issues there. Again, much like everybody else, I've got Trent, I've got Perisic, and I've got Cancelo. I have gone Robertson, and you know, I just feel that double Liverpool defense could be pretty key in the early games, particularly with those fixtures. And you know, if Nunez is going to be an option, I feel that's good for Robbo, much in the way that Mane was good for Robbo and also Jota as well. So I feel like Robbo can pick up some sort of late last season form and, you know, picking up clean sheets along the way as well. So that's my back four in the midfield. Captain Salah. That hasn't changed. Martinelli, you know, just looking at the, I think I had him in anyway, but just looking at that that touch map that we were looking at on SofaScore the other day. I mean, just the freedom that he's allowed, it appeared to be allowed now. If that continues in, you know, the favourable fixtures that they've got, just doesn't make any sense not to have him. Minutes was obviously the only real concern. 90 minutes against Sevilla feels fine. So pretty happy with that now. And then yeah, I've gone for Bailey. I'm really targeting those first couple of fixtures, including obviously the Bournemouth one. That's probably where I come a little bit unstuck up front, because I do have to book in a transfer. I've got Kane and I've got Jesus. My plan is to move Kane onto Haaland in game week 2. I'm quite happy to book that transfer in. If it means it costs me 4 points down the line, I mean, what's 4 points at the end of the season? I mean, let's say it gets to game week 38 and I miss top 10k by 3 points. Am I really going to be disappointed by a 13k finish? No. So screw it. I'm going to go Kane there, Haaland in game week 2, chase that upside from Kane against Southampton in game week 1, and just trust that he will outscore. I mean, it's only Haaland's third game with City.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Bournemouth one is a soft one for him. I don't think West Ham will give him a soft game. He's elite, obviously, but I think West Ham will give him a bit of a push here and there, and you know, hopefully he blanks for me anyway. And then again, targeting the promoted sides, I've got Callum Wilson. So Callum Wilson, a player that starts well when he's fit. He's talismanic for Newcastle, always involved in goals. They've got Forest first up. I just feel that is too difficult to ignore, to be honest. And it's quite a simple move off him when the fixtures start getting tough in game week 3, if I want to, right? So I can take him down to 4.5, and it brings me up like 3 million to do whatever I want elsewhere on the pitch, which is kind of nice. It also gives me there's plenty of options in Strike Force that may come to light, and you know, the midfield, there's always options as well. A Bailey plus 3 million equals 8 million midfielder if I want him, and he's still 8 million. So you know, it just gives me a bit of flexibility there, and I think it's pretty settled. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, other than that City and Liverpool game, I mean, of which one of them is at home. I mean, they've got great fixtures all the way through to like game week 10. So it won't be unexpected if he does stay in my team even through that period. I'd have to maybe look again at the bench and see if I can rotate maybe a Nico Williams or a Andreas Pereira in on those game weeks, which may be a bit interesting and something I haven't looked at just yet. But we will see. And that's me. That's where I am at the moment.
He's in a good place, man. Like I remember at the start of last season, and things we were sort of looking at is, does it kind of reflect us? And I think we're in the right place. You know, we ended up going slightly different ways like the start of last season. We both ended up, I think, with exactly the same points at the end of the game.
Pretty much a point apart. Yeah.
And this feels like it. And I just think everyone should play the way that feels right to them. I like the idea that I start my base in a sensible way and I look for punts. And that punt might come by Friday. So there might be ones where I look away from them. You're looking for ones in which you can find your upsides. And in Bailey, in Wilson, like they got big upsides. Kane in game week 1 over Hornet. You'd think Kane's floor is like 5, probably, in assist. It's probably his floor. Whereas you think that Haaland's floor could be 1.
Yeah.
Which is your 4 points. You know, and so it's there. You know, it is able to be done. And if you feel like I just can't see Kane not doing at least that, then I don't see any reason not to do it. And I might come Friday and think to myself, yeah, I need to play Kane.
Yeah.
But we shall see how it comes come Friday. Same on the Neto versus Bailey. I doubt I will spend that money if I do it, but I quite like the idea of still having that 0.5, especially if I've got an 8 million midfielder, because it just gives you the ability, that little 0.1 extra to mess about with if you want to move someone around. So if you're not losing a quality of player, I don't mind it.
Fair enough. Cool. Well, that's our drafts for now. And, let us know down in the comments if they're similar to yours. Baker's is similar to everyone's. So that's pretty cool, as expected. And, but yeah, 3 days to go, guys. And we'll see what the press conferences bring to us. In the meantime, have a good one.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.